So first and foremost, thank you Maxis and Huawei for organizing this 5G-Advanced showcase, where we see for the first time in the real world, not in a lab setting, the speeds that can be offered and some of the application of 5G-Advanced. What's particularly promising, I think, is the use of passive IoT. Previously, some of the challenges that are presented by the use of these sensors for Internet of Things, IoT, is that they need to have some kind of power source. So if you have a large number of IoT devices, then that also means that you need to provide that kind of large number of sources of power. But with passive IoT, that's not needed. So I think this is quite impressive, and I hope to be able to see it in the real world sometime soon, once MCMC has they have cleared some things. Yeah. So also we witnessed just now the 5G advanced speed. We know before this, based on UCLA speed test, the speed that we see on average in Malaysia is 435 Mbps, one of the fastest in Southeast Asia, second after Korea. And at the same time, we know before this in a trial, some of the speed that we've achieved has reached 1 gigabit per second Gbps. But today we've seen that it reached 8.3, 8.3 Gbps. So that's the peak speed. So this is quite an accomplishment. I think this is quite exciting. Of course, a lot of people will say this is dedicated. You know what happens in the real world. A lot of the application will be for industry. So you can see the application, particularly in some of the showcases. If you're talking about industries that require over a large space, a large area, the kind of connectivity in order for you to use the kind of whether augmented reality, virtual reality, or the kind of headsets that we can see on display, that the kind of speed that we can see from 5G Advanced will help, particularly in those kind of applications. So we're really looking at how we can get greater industry adoption of both 5G and 5G Advanced when the time comes. Newer technologies like this widen the gap between SMEs and perhaps some of those that can afford to deploy this kind of technology and infrastructure. This is where business models come into play. These are completely commercial considerations. Of course, on the side of government, we have had various policies for greater adoption. Previously, what was announced in October of last year are digitalization grants or soft loans via some of the banks that can help businesses adopt some of the newer technologies. So I think when as we prepare for budget 2025, some of these considerations can be brought to the attention of MOF, and we hope that with the support of industry, with the support of some of the other agencies and ministries, we can help to bridge some of this gap between the so-called bigger players and the SMEs. I think it's very important, especially in light of our NIMP direction, our new industrial master plan, where digitalization is one of the key facets, one of the key features that we have to prioritize to increasingly make our industries more complex and therefore produce cheaper, better, more desirable goods for the rest of the world. So I see the deployment of this kind of technology requires perhaps some new business models, as well as some assistance from government for adoption. But how exactly the government will assist, we have yet to discuss, but we are prepared to listen to industry, to understand the needs, the requirements, and then we can work from there. So today we're just seeing the technology for the first time, and I encourage industry, SME to come and witness, over the next few days that this display is here, so that they can then have further conversations.
Nak tanya berapa bilangan company yang participate dalam MWC Barcelona tu dan apa objektif kementerian?
Baik. Jadi alhamdulillah semua syarikat telco Malaysia bersama dalam pavilion Malaysia di MWC Barcelona. Dan ini kali pertama kita ada satu reruai, satu pavilion, dan ini kali pertama semua telco bersama. Dan kita ada beberapa syarikat yang lain, saya tidak ada senarai yang terkini, tapi delegasi rombongan ini yang mana ia melibatkan syarikat-syarikat telco dan sejumlah syarikat yang lain, ini adalah kehadiran yang terbesar insya-Allah di acara MWC Barcelona selama ini. Kita ada 3 bentuk kesaling hubungan, 3 types of connectivity. Ada yang di luar, outdoor, kita ada dalam bangunan, in building, dan juga dalam talian ataupun talian tetap, ya, fixed line. Jadi 3-3 ni ada cabaran yang berbeza. Bagi outdoor, kita boleh pasang menara. Bagi dalam bangunan, bergantung kepada siapa yang mengusahakan premis itu. Sekiranya ia daripada PBT, kita boleh berbincang dengan PBT. Cuma salah satu perkara yang mungkin saya akan cuba sampaikan kepada PBT nanti ialah mungkin kita perlu secara proaktif pihak MCMC berhubung dengan mereka, terutama dalam perancangan bandar, supaya bangunan-bangunan baru mengambil kira keperluan in-building coverage. Saya lihat rata-rata termasuklah di kawasan lembah pantai, bila bangunan baru disiapkan, ini saya dah bincang dengan Maxis. Maxis sepatutnya menyediakan perkhidmatan untuk bangunan Media City, tapi tak selesai lagi. Jadi perkara itu sepatutnya saya rasa ini adalah isu perancangan. Saya tak salahkan Maxis, tapi saya percaya nanti Maxis akan bagi diskaun ya kepada Jabatan Penyiaran. Tapi rata-rata in-building coverage appears to be an afterthought. Kemudian dah siap bangunan baru kita fikirkan. Oleh sebab kita lihat sekarang internet adalah satu basic utility, satu guna awam yang asas. Maka saya lihat ada keperluan untuk adakan perbincangan. Maka insya-Allah selepas ni saya akan minta sebagai contoh pihak MCMC untuk berhubung dengan KPKT supaya kita dapat meneliti apakah cara terbaik untuk kita pastikan perancangan bandar dapat memasukkan isu in-building coverage ini sebagai sebahagian daripada SOP mereka. Jadi ini kita akan bincang kemudian. Baik. Sila.
Tadi in your speech you ada kata that nak MNOs jumpa to provide reliable internet for all.
Yes. So one of the key things that we see, alhamdulillah, most of the MNOs, most of the mobile network operators, they are still very profitable and they are able to survive. At the same time, we see internet speeds getting much faster, and internet packages are thankfully also being very reasonably priced and appropriately priced. And I feel at the same time a lot of disgruntlement or grouses or complaints from the public. I think this is where we can work on next. I would like to be able to invite all of the MNOs. Perhaps we can have this discussion at the pavilion at MWC to find a way forward. Where right now it feels that if they can't get the ears of the MNOs, they have to look for the minister. It's okay, but I feel that that process should be made much easier for us to fully verify that this complaint is legitimate, is a real issue, what exactly is the problem, and that we can attend to it very quickly. Perhaps there are some solutions that we can deploy, but we need the cooperation, the close cooperation of the MNOs. So I hope to have that discussion very soon. Ya, saya lihat isu konten ataupun bahan berita yang di copy paste, diambil, dicedok dan dimuat naik dalam laman web lain. Kebiasaannya saya tak pasti sama ada kebenaran ataupun tidak daripada pemilik. Jadi di sini saya lihat kita perlu sedikit mungkin ada satu sistem asas yang mana pemilik asal kepada berita itu boleh buat aduan, dan kemudian pihak MCMC sebagai contoh boleh ambil tindakan. Jadi di sini belum lagi kita wujudkan, tapi insya-Allah boleh dibangunkan satu sistem yang mudah supaya hak ataupun hak milik bagi ataupun copyright bagi konten itu dapat kita jamin untuk yang telah menghasilkannya. Saya lihat isu copyright ini dia bukan hanya terkesan kepada e-dagang, e-commerce, tapi sebenarnya banyak berita juga yang kadang-kadang diambil tanpa kebenaran daripada pihak asal. Dan inilah antara lain kadang-kala mengakibatkan maklumat itu disalah tafsir ataupun diubah suai seolah-olah itulah yang dilaporkan oleh media asal. Jadi insya-Allah kita akan teliti perkara ini. The Code of Ethics for Journalists has been there since 1989. So those who are saying that this is a new document perhaps has forgotten that actually it's based on the document that was released by MPI in 1989. So it's always been there. All of you who have cut Berakuan Media, even before the launch a few days ago, you received your card Berakuan Media based on that 1989 Code of Ethics. But if you were to look at the original Code of Ethics, it includes phrases like to curb communism, which no longer is an issue in Malaysia because they no longer exist. So it's a bit anachronistic. Plus, we have newer technologies like AI, blogs, and ataupun online media, which was never really at that time envisioned. So we have to update the document. The document is still MPI's, but Jabatan Penerangan, along with a number of other strategic partners, have assisted, including USM, UKM, have assisted to update the document. And if you were to compare the two documents, they are almost the same. The preamble is the same. There are still 8 key points. It's the same document. It's
nothing like that. No,
it's not at all.
Media freedom or whatsoever.
Nothing to do with curbing media freedom. I think sometimes some of the comments that have been made have been unfair to Jabatan Penerangan, have been unfair to MPI, the Malaysian Press Institute, because the document, if you had attended, for those of you who can look back at the video of the launch, the CEO of MPI, Dr. Mustafa, said in his speech that this document is the original one is from 1989. So we cannot discount or we cannot nullify this fact. It's there. It's from 1989.